Yo, what up?
Welcome back. I'm stealing Gabe's intro. He did not expect that. Welcome back, Real Fans Podcast, episode 81. It's my turn to shine. Tired of hearing Gabe in the beginning. I'm sure y'all tired of hearing Gabe in the first 2 minutes. But it's your boy. I got it.
His knockoff Panthers jersey.
You got your boy Gabe
up
there in the left-hand corner with his knockoff jersey, right? We're going to get into that later. Then you got your boy Julian representing Inter Miami FC, Inter Fort Lauderdale out here, fresh in the podcast. Yeah. What's up, fellas? We're back. We took a week hiatus because, your boy Julian decides to go on vacation. Not invite Gabe and I. So, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all
appreciate
good.
Appreciate the invite, man.
You're welcome.
Yo, how was your trip though? How was your trip though? How was it?
Nope. Oh, it's awesome. I always love going to Europe. I love it over there. It's really dope. I like how different everything is. But it was awesome. Jet lag was a little bit, but got used to it pretty quickly. But yeah, pretty dope nonetheless. Crazy to see all that history. See how old shit is.
Yo, let's get into it because right now we're in the playoffs. There's a lot of sports going on right now. We're in baseball season. We're in the NHL playoff. I'm not going to talk about my Florida Panthers being in the playoffs. So I just want to mention it real quick because that's what I'm monitoring right now. We beat the Bruins. We beat the Boston Bruins.
No, you're right.
You're good.
We've gone it.
Gabe, are you good, Gabe? Are you good?
Listen,
I think he's excited. I think
I'm just excited. My fingers are shaking. I just can't.
He's like, did it really happen? Was it really the Bruins?
Anyways.
Oh, and F1 this weekend. I forgot.
It is F1 in Miami and South.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a very expensive ticket. South Beach. Listen,
getting us some tickets.
I got it.
South Florida. Sports is going crazy right now. But let's talk about the NFL because the NFL always makes news, even though they haven't played a game in very many months. We've been very many months since the Super Bowl. But here we are. We have. Let's talk about the biggest signing because this is the most recent news. Officially, Lamar Jackson has signed with the Ravens. Obviously, there's a bunch of negotiations. Lamar Jackson has been an agent for himself. He doesn't have an agent. He's doing his own negotiations.
Yes, sir.
And then the Ravens put the franchise tag on him, which means the Ravens had rights to him. They could essentially decide if they want to keep him or send him to another team. But it's official. Lamar Jackson 5-year contract, $260 million, no tag clause on his contract, no trade, no tag. So let's talk about the biggest news of the week. I'll go to Julian first. How do you feel about the Ravens? Obviously, I feel like when they put the tag on him, they officially said, "Hey, we want to keep you," and now he's with the team, and it feels like all hunky dory, like everything's all good. We're going forward with Lamar Jackson. Julian, how do you feel about the acquisition of Lamar Jackson officially being signed for 5 years?
I'm shocked. And honestly, this was the exact contract what I was expecting. Seems like he tried to play hardball, didn't work out. And, we're talking about it with the Jalen Hurts thing. It was like, that's a contract I would expect from Lamar is what Jalen Hurts got. And it seemed like I can't remember the exact numbers of Jalen Hurts, but it seems pretty on par. I've also found an article. It lays out exactly how the contract breaks down. And man, this is a really good contract, like salary cap wise. I can showcase it here so you guys can see. But pretty much everything kind of got pushed back to the end of the contract. So he's getting a $72 million signing bonus. So as soon as he signs that contract, $72 million in his pocket right there. Damn. And then the rest is pretty good. So for this upcoming season, he's only going to take a $7 million cap hit, which is so small, fully guaranteed. By the way, out of the 236, 183 of it is fully guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I can pull it off here, but I will also say it for the listeners out there. 2 seconds.
So Gabe, I'm waiting for my signing bonus for the contract I signed for Real Fans Podcast. So when you have that ready, you let me know.
Listen, we're just trying to clear everything in the bank. The bank has been, we're just working there. There's a couple hitches in the bank. But let's talk about
So he's basically getting 12 payments over the course of 5 years. So $72 million signing bonus, only $7.5 million in 2023, $17.5 in 2024, 14. My bad. It's actually 14 in 2024, and then only 20 million in 2025, and then in 2026 is where the big cap hit comes, which is 51.25 million, and then in 2027 51.25 million again. But by the time 2026 and 2027 come around, salary cap most likely going to raise, and maybe $50 million for one player in your salary cap might not be that bad. But I think this is a really well-structured contract. We're starting to see that a lot, where everybody's throwing money at the signing bonus, let the owner pay for it, and then free up the cap space for the salary cap. Because, I mean, look, this opens it up for, like, we've said that, I think, and we know too, Baltimore, it's an aging team. You know, it's a team that they don't have a ton of youngsters, and it's a team that's trying to win now, and they need to have that space to re-sign some of the great young players that they have, as well as sign new guys, veterans who are going to demand money. And that this contract works out perfectly. It looks like they're going all in these next 2 years, by having, while his cap hit is low, only 14 and 20 million, and try to get it done before you hit 2026, where that $50 million hit comes in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a great deal for him. I think it was about what I expected. I didn't think he was going to get the original of what he was asking for, but I am really surprised that he stayed. I thought he would have got traded. I thought Baltimore would have said, screw it, and let him go off somewhere else. But got it all settled before the draft happened, and it looked like he was the answer all along. Looks like they never actually really wanted to trade him.
Here's the thing with me is like, yo, what was your second option, right? Is it going to be the Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley? Like, what if you let go of an MVP talent like that? What was your second option, JoJo? I don't know how you feel about Lamar Jackson as a player going forward. Like, I feel like he was very deserving of a big deal. Like, I'm very happy that he got his money. I feel like maybe he might be more valued, especially you know the price went up, right? Yesterday's price is not today's price. He maybe not got exactly what he wanted, but I still think he's a value member of the Ravens. So how do you feel, JoJo, overall about this signing of Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying since day one he deserves to get paid. I was defending him. I was in his corner, right? Like, it sucks, unfortunately, in the last 2 seasons he got injured. Like, okay, cool, right before contract time. But it doesn't take away everything he accomplished with the team, right? Like, I mean, obviously the MVP, and he's a Heisman winner as well, dating back to college. But we spoke last week, or our last episode, about will Jalen Hurts' contract hurt Lamar's contract this coming? And we actually thought it would, right? We're like, all right, well, Jalen Hurts, had a Super Bowl appearance, and he set the ceiling for this year's contracts. And look, Lamar ended up getting paid more. And they actually got Odell Beckham Jr., so they got him a weapon, right? So that means, like you said, they're trying to win right now, right? He played hardball. It worked out in the end. Sometimes you just have to sell yourself high, right, just to meet in the middle. And in fact, he actually, I don't think he was expecting to get that full contract that he wanted in the beginning, right? You got to play hardball sometimes, right? You don't want to show your cards, and the Ravens, they know they need him, right? Now's not the time to start from scratch, right, and rely on someone that hasn't really proven themselves with a backup QB right now, especially everything they went through. They're trying to win another Super Bowl, and to waste someone's prime, like, to get rid of him, someone like Lamar Jackson, like, why would you do that? So I think it works out, and I like that Julian showed the breakdown of the contract. I don't really understand too much, so I think that was really cool seeing how that's going to work out for the Ravens in the future.
And in general, overall, like, I feel like this was kind of inevitable. As soon as they put the franchise tag on him, like, this was like, we're gonna keep you. For me, in my opinion, like, they put if they didn't want to keep him, they wouldn't put the franchise tag on him. Yeah. So the fact that he's getting paid, like, he's very deserving. So, like, we'll see going forward. It's gonna be a tough, a tough division going forward. But let's talk about another acquisition. Obviously, I think over the past week, and it wasn't Lamar Jackson was the most recent, but last week, officially, Aaron Rodgers. This was like an inevitability. We all knew he was going to the Jets because just based on what the Packers were saying and all the stuff. But Aaron Rodgers officially signed with the Jets, and they also signed Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb agreed to a 1-year deal with the New York Jets. So I just want to talk to Julian. I'll go to you. Jets overall. Are you surprised that Aaron Rodgers signed and he's meeting back up with his old teammate from the Packers? This was, I guess this was like a thing of tension. I guess he wanted Randall Cobb went to the Dallas Cowboys and he came back to the Packers and now he's with the Jets. Like, it is the Aaron Rodgers Randall Cobb situation? Is this like the ideal for Aaron Rodgers going forward with the Jets?
Dude, the moment I saw that Randall Cobb signed with the Jets, I immediately just started busting out laughing, thinking about Gabe, about how much he roasted Randall Cobb. And Aaron Rodgers like, oh, you want Randall Cobb? You want Randall Cobb? Here's Randall Cobb. Here's Randall Cobb. You got what you wanted, and now you don't like it. You got what you. That's all that came to my mind was that episode when he was talking about that trash Randall Cobb, and Aaron Rodgers wanted Randall Cobb. And then the moment I see that, I'm like, yeah, it is so fucking funny that they managed to bring back Randall Cobb. To be fair, man, Randall Cobb, 13 games, he had about 470 something yards and a couple tuds. I mean, it's not bad for a third wide receiver, number 3 or 4. Like, 400 yards isn't bad, especially for his age, if he can replicate that. But, like, look, I mean, Randall Cobb, at the end of the day, he's not going to be the game changer for that team. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers. The Jets already have a real stud at wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. And then we all know about their young defense that is super talented and that's built to last for the next few years. What's really kind of surprised me the most was the trade. The trade was a little weird to me. I didn't expect the Packers and the Jets to flip. I guess I kind of get it. Aaron Rodgers is an aging player, and we don't know if he's going to be the same guy. It's not like he's a young guy in his prime like Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson.
I mean, 2 years ago, back-to-back MVPs. So there's something there.
Yeah.
There's something there.
So basically, let me lay out the trade. So Jets get Aaron Rodgers. They get the Packers' number 15th overall pick. Mind you, this all happened right before the draft. We're recording this right after the draft. So we all knew, at least I did, like, this was all going to get done before the draft happened. Like, you want to get this thing settled, get your picks before it happens, because you don't want having to have things like bounce on to next year. You want to get this thing done now, especially this year's draft was a pretty good draft, a lot of great prospects. So Jets get Aaron Rodgers, the number 15 pick, and the pick 170. The Packers get the Jets 13th pick, the number 42nd pick, and the number 207th pick, and then a 2024 second round pick, but is a conditional pick, which means if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of plays next year, that pick will then become a first-round pick for the Packers. So if I'm a betting man, the Packers pretty much got a first-round pick to next year. So, like I said, I did think it was a little weird that they did a flip-flop of the first 2 picks. I thought for sure the Jets were just not going to have one this year. But yeah, I mean, Gabe, what do you think of the trade itself?
I mean, overall, I think this was kind of expected, right? Because the Packers were always talking about, like, letting him go. I think the owner came out and was talking about how this was always going to happen. The math of it, I don't fully understand of it yet. I'm trying to look at the Jets overall, their draft picks that they had this year so far. They pick O-linemen, they pick a running back, they pick some defensive guys. So I think they're going all in. Like, the Jets overall this past season, they have a good team, right? The biggest thing was Breece Hall, or was it Bryce Hall? Breece Hall. Their running back, he was really good for them, and he went down. He went down with injury this year, and they have a high prospect, right? This is very surprisingly for this year. The conference that we're in, the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets. There is a very competitive conference, and the fact that they acquired Aaron Rodgers is going to be big for them. Again, I don't want to be overhyped. Like, I want to see him play. I want to see him play with whatever they have. Did I lose the stream? Where am I gone? I don't hear any sound. But yeah, overall, I'm not upset with the overall pick the picks that they have and what they've acquired so far. So the Jets, they're going to be competitive. Aaron Rodgers is a big name, a couple-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. I'm not upset with what they've done. I think we'll see how actually the Packers with what they do with the picks, because I feel like they've been in rebuild since this pick and whatever. So yeah, I mean, Jets are gonna be competitive. I just want to see. I just want to roll the ball and see the schedule, see how the season rolls out. I don't want to be predictive. Right now we're in May, so I don't want to be predictive of whatever games happen later on. So yeah. Aaron Rodgers.
So you think it was pretty fair? You think it was fair what the Packers got?
I don't know. We'll see.
You think they should have got more?
We'll see. I don't know if they got more, but we'll see how the acquisitions show up in the fall.
All right, JoJo.
Facts. Jets guaranteed to go to the Super Bowl. Now playing. Imagine. I mean, look, listen, down the road, we're gonna see, just what Gabe said. I mean, it's only upwards for the Jets right now, right? They got the quarterback they needed, man. That was the missing piece. A nice young team, offensively, defensively, they have their weapons. And it's actually funny. Your boy Rodgers is already doing some bonding with the team, and he took Sauce Gardner out to the Knicks game, and he told him that
he's been around New York.
Yeah. You can tell with the age difference. It's crazy how old Aaron Rodgers is and just how young, the talent they have on the Jets. You got these 20-year-olds coming out of college, 22-year-olds, 23, and this man's pushing 40. So, but yeah, he told Sauce, he was like, "Hey, man, we're sitting next to Jessica Alba," and he was like, "Who?"
Oh,
I'm like, damn.
We're old, bro. We're old, dude.
He had no idea who Jessica Alba was.
We're old,
bro. How old is Sauce Gardner?
Listen,
no way.
What's okay?
Yeah,
let me ask you a question.
No idea.
To be fair, let me ask you a question. What's the last Jessica Alba movie you've seen?
It's been a minute. But I know Jessica. I'm not it's not like me and JoJo are that old. You old,
listen,
but
we weren't Gabe's age. I know Gabe had posters of her on the wall. I can say that back in the day, right?
She's fine as hell. Listen, the last movie I can remember is Sin City, maybe Sin City. That's the last movie I can remember. Jessica Alba. She went to be a mom. Now she's a mogul. She's selling, all kinds of products, all kind of minor product. But
imagine sitting there courtside at the Knicks game. You have no idea who.
Yeah. Yo, and that's how we'll get into it later.
I don't know. I guess I've always felt even before, even though shit is older than me, I feel like I always have a good understanding of famous people
previous
before
history.
I would. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe that's just me though.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Showed his age.
Those are the biggest stories of the NFL. Let's talk about the NBA, because right now we're in the middle of the NBA playoffs. JoJo, I know you've been watching, man. We got to talk about. All right, let's talk about the most recent news. Most recently, Embiid wins MVP. Now, this is a big thing because Jokic has won the past 2 years. He was probably up for it this year. Honestly, in my opinion, I felt like Joel Embiid and Jokic were 1 and 2, right? 1A, 1B. And but officially, Embiid wins the MVP for the year. Jojo, I'll go to you. How do you feel about Joel Embiid winning MVP overall for this year?
Shit, can we get his numbers up real quick? Because honestly, I feel like he deserves it, right? A lot of people believe Jokic deserved to three-peat, and that he didn't win it due to voters fatigue, right? And we try to create the story of create this narrative on who deserves it, right, based on timing and everything, and they feel like that's why Embiid got it. But if you really look at his numbers and what he did for the Sixers this year, I mean, it was actually, I'll give credit where it's due, man. He performed. Unfortunately, he missed a couple games due to injury, so people are putting that into consideration. Hey, Jokic played majority of the season. We played more games than Embiid. I mean, shit happens, right? Yeah. So look, what did he average?
Let me look at Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid this year, he's averaging 54% from the field, 33% from three. He's getting 34 minutes played. Let me see. Look at points. 33 points on average. Let me look up Nikola Jokic
He was first in average points all season, 33.1.
33.1.
He was eighth in rebounds, 10.2, and then he was 51 in assists overall.
And Jokic is doing
big. The big thing is he was first in average points per game.
Yeah. And, he's averaging more points than Jokic. Jokic was like 24.5 this year. So, but I feel like, those were like 1A, 1-2. Like, it was like, it's like 1A, 1B, Joel Embiid versus Jokic. Yeah. I think Jokic had a strong first half of the season. Maybe you might have thrown in Giannis maybe as a number 3. And
you could also say, right, so Jokic, his team was first in the West, whereas they had the 3 seed in the East, right? Yeah. So, I think overall, like, this was his award to win, and especially, like you said, in the second half, he made that push, right? He had a couple buzzer beaters, couple clutch plays. He's done it all. Rebounds, points, facilitating, and they're just overall great season for the Sixers, in which right now they're playing the Celtics in the playoffs. So, he could further his case, even though he already won, but this will be a huge playoff series win, right? So
you guys see the stats here. So Jokic almost averaged a triple-double all season. Like, pretty much third in assists for a big man, second in rebounds, and a little lower on points, but he's a big man at the end of the day. So, almost pretty much averaged an entire triple-double all season. So,
he's definitely the league leader in bloody arms this year, because whenever you see him play, the guy's always bleeding. He's always cut up. But
aside from the numbers, right? They always go back, right? We always have this conversation, like what's considered like most valuable, right? So like Denver without Jokic, right? Do you think they'll be able to make the playoffs? Whereas 76ers without Embiid, do you think they'll be able to make the playoffs? Or
hell no.
Obviously, both teams need those players. So always a tough conversation. How do you guys feel? Like, who deserves it? Overall impact, and obviously you got the numbers there as well, but
yeah. I'm overall like I'm not surprised, right? Those in my mind for this year, those two were definitely both names. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see either name, right? It'd be crazy if you see like, I don't know, Damian Lillard or something, because they definitely play both sides of the ball. So
you mean Ben Simmons?
No, Ben. Don't talk about him. Don't talk about him.
Here we go.
I don't know if this guy's gonna be playing basketball next year. Anyways, let's talk about the MVP. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Those are definitely the two favorite names. The fact they give it to him, I think it's perfectly fine. Like, it's not surprising. It's like, either or. You could pick either.
Yeah. It was a coin flip, coin toss.
Yeah.
Listen, Jokic won the last two.
Yeah.
Are they really gonna give it to him to 3P? Realistically, when you have someone right there in your corner, like going at it, I don't know. He made that push at the end, and he got the award. So, congrats.
Can we talk about? Let's transition Joel Embiid into the 76ers Boston series, because right now they're tied at 1-1. Yeah. I think did they play tonight? I think they played tonight.
They played. I think last night they played game 2. Yeah.
So, they play tomorrow. They play tomorrow 5-5. So they play Cinco de Mayo.
Tonight's Lakers Warriors.
Yeah.
Woo,
Lakers Warriors. But let's talk about this Philly Boston series overall. Jojo, I don't know how you feel about this series. I think these are the two. Obviously, I've been talking the whole time that the series have been these two teams, right? This is like a championship series right now. For me, coming out of the East, it's been the 76ers or the Celtics. Jojo, I don't know how you feel about this series so far. I feel like they stole one. I feel like game 1 they stole one. So let's talk about the series.
Key component here, right? We're talking about game 1. Philly on the road stole game 1 without their MVP. Yeah. He did not play. They got that big win. But you could flip the switch on game 2. Embiid came back, I believe, but he's still injured. I think he's playing on one leg, and I'm not. Yeah. So after he won the award, I guess he was like inspired to get back and make this run. And they got smoked. But going forward, they stole one on the road, which is what you're supposed to do, especially going against Boston. That's not an easy task, and they did it without I'm about to say MVP. Joel Embiid. Look, they're going back home in Philly. They either have to win both, obviously, or split. They can't afford to lose both games. It's just very possible. Celtics can do that. But they have, shout out to all the role players on the team as well. James Harden, he is the one that hit the game winner in game one, right? You saw prime James Harden, he dropped 45. That's what they're gonna need with the rest of the series, right? Not saying he has to drop 40 every game, but he's gonna have to play both ends of the floor, right? You don't want the typical James Harden going for 30 plus and then there's no defense out of him. Like, he has to change that narrative. And I think for Doc Rivers, right, coaching level, he already has this narrative of not being able to win in most recent years, right? The Clippers, 76ers. He hasn't won since '08 with the Celtics. So he has an opportunity to change his narrative, getting a series win against Boston.
And these are the toughest teams, right? For me in this series, like with the Joel Embiid injury, I feel like he's definitely a major part of it. This entire season, this NBA season, has all been about offense, right? Offense. The scoring has been higher and higher, right? You see the scores is like 120 versus 135 or something. It's been so high. So like I feel like in the playoffs, defense is definitely key. And with a major player like Joel Embiid who plays both sides of the ball, obviously is gonna affect the game. Harden showed out. He played out. As the former MVP as he's been. So I think this is an exciting series. Jojo, I'll go to you. I'm gonna get you your opinion first. How do you feel about what is the result of this series? Like, how do you feel about how the Boston 76ers series is gonna go now that
honestly, I think it's gonna go 7 games, right? And if your MVP, wow. if Joel gets healthy, and Harden continues to play like he played and from game one, right, I'm gonna give it to 76ers. And I'm not a believer, right? I never see them coming out of the second round, but I guess maybe they'll have that extra spark they've been missing the last few years, right? With Joel, the season he's had, that chip on his shoulder. James Harden is trying to I guess get his name back to where it once was, right? And how he used to perform in the regular season. Yeah. And again, Doc Rivers was something to prove right now, and they could make it happen. Same as with the Celtics, right? They came up short in the finals last year. They pretty much dominated the East this year. With, like you said, 3 or 4 top teams, in the East that been swapping back and forth, and Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Brown, right? They want to get back. They're hungry. But I think Joel winning that MVP this year is gonna solidify what they're gonna do in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think 7 games.
And listen, I'm not gonna doubt. Listen, Joel Embiid, we've seen all the memes of him, leaving a finals and crying, whatever. But all right, here's my whole thing, right? I want to talk about complete teams. As far as complete teams, I feel like the Boston Celtics overall have a better complete team. But like you said, it's gonna go game 7, maybe, possibly. I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset if either teams advance after this after this series. And listen, the series don't start until an away team wins a game. And right now they're split. They're going to go to Philly tomorrow. They're playing on May 5th. So listen, this is like a championship series, right? Before the actual championship, before the Eastern Conference Championship, and to me, like I said, I'm leaning more towards Boston. But if the Phillies come out, I wouldn't be upset because they definitely have the mark and the makeup. Both teams are hungry, right? Boston trying to get back. Joel Embiid coming off this MVP season, losing in a final. I think both teams are hungry. So this is just exciting to watch. For me, it's just exciting basketball. Julian, I don't know how you feel about the Celtics versus 76ers series. If you have a prediction to come out overall.
I like the Celtics. I just think they're deeper. I like their team more as a whole. I just, depth is everything. And right now, I was looking at the reports, just double checking with Joel Embiid. He's going to return for the next game. But, I don't know. How 100% is he going to be? At the end of the day, Joel Embiid is a big guy. And it's a knee strain. And, we've seen these big guys. Down the road, he's already pushing 30. Like I said, he had a great season and much deserved an MVP. I'm just curious to see how well he performs through this injury. So it's going to require James Harden to really step it up and did like he did in game 1 and drop 45. To me, that's the only way I really see Philly coming out of here is if James Harden just absolutely turns up, because I think Boston, they have too much depth on that team that will just keep them afloat.
Yeah. And let's transition over to the other Eastern team. Right now, we have a series going on: Miami versus New York. Miami has split. They won Game 1 in New York. New York beat Game 2 without Jimmy Butler. We're coming back home. I think this Saturday they play Game 3 in Miami.
Oh,
Again,
I looked at those tickets, man. I was trying to see if I could pull up to a game. Not happening.
Oh my God! Yeah.
30, 40,
Expensive. Expensive.
Yo, all these New Yorkers out here, man. They're not gonna play. Yo, they travel deep. They're gonna be over here right
Actually,
here.
I didn't get to see the stands. I caught the highlights because I was out of the country. But how was the fan base like for that game?
In New York? Oh, Game 1 was.
My bad. I got it mixed up. I was thinking they haven't played Miami.
First two games were Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Remember, they're coming to Miami tomorrow, I believe, right?
You think there's going to be a lot of New York fans? Like, obviously, I know they show up for all the other ones, but I wasn't sure.
Regular season game, they show up for the regular
season games.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so tired of y'all coming down here. Go back to your fucking city. Actually, speaking of that, real quick, slightly off topic, did you see the Toronto Panthers ticket thing that was going on?
Yeah, they kind of banned
because outside of New Yorkers being down here, a lot of Canadians as well, especially in Broward
for the summer. Yeah,
a fuck ton of Canadians. You see you see Quebec license plates and Ontario license plates all around me. The Panthers were limited, they wouldn't. I don't know. I forgot what the exact measures they took, but basically they were trying to prevent Toronto Maple Leafs fans from buying tickets, and they're only selling to. Go ahead, Gabe. You know better than I do.
If you wanted to buy a ticket, you had to be a U.S. credit card. If you were buying online, your credit card had to have a U.S. address. It couldn't be a Canadian address. That was the thing they were doing. So they were kind of banning whatever.
And there was kind of just emotional support. If you're not going to go to, if you're a season ticket member or you have a ticket, you're not going to go to the game. Try to sell to a Panthers fan because the one thing that they're afraid of is, I've been to quite a bit of Panthers games. Is some teams when the Blackhawks came to town, there was a lot of Blackhawks.
Yes,
it was, and anytime a big historic team like the Maple Leafs, for example, and it's we're kind of coming out of the spring, going into winter, so there's still a little bit of Canadians left over. So and then also too, this is the first time. This is the best time Toronto's been in a long time, or they made it to the second round in a long time. So so it's just kind of funny. But anyways, get back to the Heat. It's kind of related.
Let's go back to the NBA series overall. Jojo, I'll go back to you. How do you feel overall, Miami splitting in New York? Obviously, they win Game 1 without Jimmy Butler in Game 2. How do you feel about Miami coming back? How deep do you think the series is actually going to go? Do you think New York can actually fend them off?
So they turned the tables, right? So, Julius Randle did not play Game 1. And if you saw the game, Knicks came out hot. The first half, it was a tell of two halves. They had the game. Second half, they got out coached. So shout out to the boy Eric Spoelstra, because the scheming defensively, offensively, and then he exposed the Knicks on that one. Yeah. They got exposed. They had that game. So that was dope. Jimmy's out Game 2. Randall's back, right? So flip of the switch, right? You lose one All-Star, you gain the other on the team. That gave him the edge, and of course you're supposed to win at home. So if the Knicks gave up the first two at home, series is over.
Yeah.
Right. So he still won on the road, which is actually not surprising because look who they just beat. They just beat the Bucks. So I'm not gonna doubt them. Now, ultimately, it's up to the Knicks to steal one right back. And forget about home court advantage. They're gonna have an edge over here in Miami. The New Yorkers out here have been waiting how many years, just like in the city, for the Knicks to make the playoffs. So they're gonna pop out. You're gonna see a lot of Knick jerseys. You're gonna see. I will
say though, to be fair to if there's one team that Miami people show out for, it is the Heat. It's not like the Marlins or the Dolphins or the Panthers where you're gonna get a lot of other teams' jerseys in there. Heat is the one team where it's all right, everybody kind of bands together. Granted, because they're the most recently good team, but I still think you're probably going to get a Heat majority fan base in there because there's a lot of Heat fans at the end of the day.
I mean, we gotta see who buys the tickets because
Yeah.
I mean, all the
It's
South
gonna be New
Florida-
York in there. New York is gonna
Yeah,
be.
there's gonna be a lot.
They're gonna
I mean,
be in
so
there.
I think this series, and again, I don't want to sound repetitive. It's gonna go to 7.
You think 7? See, that's why that's where I disagree with you.
I disagree.
I think I think the Heat are gonna win in 6 or 7.
We just
but
beat
I'm
the
going-
Bucks in
I'm going
5,
for
dude.
7. I'm going.
We
Listen,
just beat
different
the Bucks in
matchups.
5.
Gabe, he's got a
different
Yankees
matchups.
jersey on. You know, you got a Yankees jersey. You know where his loyalty
Listen.
lies.
Okay, listen.
All right, wait. So what do you think? Heat and 5? Heat and 5?
Listen.
Is that
Heat
is that
and
where you're-
5.
Man,
Heat and 5.
dude. Come on. Listen, I want to
I
get.
genuinely believe Heat and 5. Like
I want to
It's
give
going
respect.
7.
Listen, I want to give respect to Jalen Brunson. That was a fantastic acquisition. He's a great player. I would love to have him on the Heat. I want to give respect to RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett has been a nice player. I don't know, if he's like a closer type of player, but he's been fantastic. Listen, Julius Randle, get the fuck up out of here. I don't give a goddamn about a Julius. I don't give a fuck about a Obi Toppin. I don't give a whoever you want to throw. I don't give a goddamn about these guys. Listen. They won that game 2. The fucking Knicks won game 2 barely. Y'all barely won without our starter, without our number one guy. Y'all barely won. That's not that win is not an exciting win. That win is like, oh shit, we fucking snuck out.
yeah, man. I'm looking at this lineup. I'm looking at that lineup from game 2, and I'm like, man, you had Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Adebayo, Kevin Love, and Caleb Martin. Like. And then that was an off game for Bam. So I'm like, that's not Miami's strongest
The Heat
lineup.
have the most undrafted players. Fucking Tyler Hero is out, who's a starter who would definitely give us points. I'm not saying because sometimes they target Tyler Hero defensively. Tyler Hero is defensively a liability.
Everybody's a defensive liability nowadays. Honestly,
Victor Oladipo, very I feel like he's very good coming off the bench. He's sometimes he can give us good games defensively. I'm not saying he's like a 20-point scorer.
Has he even gotten minutes? Has he even played this?
Well, he's injured. He tore.
He's injured. He's out.
He tore his patella tendon, so he's out. So
he's definitely making a good impact with the team.
The only guy we can
injured.
The only guy we can rely on that we don't have to worry about is fucking Jimmy Butler. Okay, playoff Jimmy. Okay, Jim VP. We don't have to worry about him.
With a small little injury and
he rolled his ankle. So I feel like it was a smart decision to let him sit because I think they played a Sunday or Saturday. You give them a week off. Right? They played yesterday, which was Wednesday. You give them a week off. They play Saturday. I'm perfectly fine. Listen, I said Heat in 5. The fact that we split New York, guess what? It's still Heat in 5, baby. My prediction still doesn't. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I feel like coming home.
Also, too, like in that game too, Caleb Martin dropped 22 points right there, and then I'm looking at Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent dropped 21. Like there's a lot of like. I don't want to say there's not really depth, but like you have these role players can step up when need be. And
now they're doing it now because they had no choice against the Bucks, and what you needed Caleb Martin along with Jimmy to hold it down. Like shout out to Caleb Martin, right? In the last two games against the Bucks, and he carried that over into this Knicks series. It's what you expect. They need to, right? Next man up.
You have to.
You have injuries. So what else are you gonna do? Go out there and just, you're on the court for cardio.
I mean, tell you what, Kyle Lowry,
and it's not these guys want to get paid, man. They want contracts too, right? So
and Kyle Lowry's just been such a bust this playoffs, man. He's done nothing.
Yeah, and we can't forget Kevin Love, man. He hit timely 3-point shots.
I will say, Kevin, he's not a bad pickup, man. He's serviceable. Like he's not a liability out there. It's not like he's going out there.
I would disagree. Defensively, sometimes he has come up in big moments, right? He's had big passes. I think defensively, he's just slow. To me, he's
slow. I mean, he's old. He's washed.
Him moving his body, trying to block. Yeah. But listen, we don't have a lot of big men. Okay, we don't have a lot of big guys,
and that's it could be worse.
If Bam Adebayo's not playing well, we need a Kevin Love. We need a Cody Zeller. As sad as that sounds, we need them because we don't have big bodies, right? We have a lot of. We have Kyle Lowry, who's pretty short. You know what I mean? We're out Tyler here. We're out Victor Oladipo. We don't have a lot of serviceable guys out there. But listen,
well, and that's what I was saying is like I think Kevin Love brings a little bit of size that you just kind of needed at the moment.
And he can shoot too, right? So Kevin Love can shoot the 3-point shot, which is clutch. Right? You need that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's Kevin Love like Minnesota Timberwolves. Kevin
prime.
Love.
No way.
But he's serviceable. You can you can start them and you can and you'd be okay for the most part. Like you said, the Knicks barely got out of that.
Yeah, that's not
a weekend Heat lineup.
I wouldn't after that game, after game 2, Knicks Heat. I wouldn't be excited. If I'm a Knicks fan, I wouldn't be excited for that game. I'm gonna be like, oh, this is a great win. Well, we're gonna win and fuck. Oh, come on, don't.
Yeah, I mean the only people that scored for the Knicks were R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson. It was just 3 people. Everybody else, like Mitchell Robinson, 6 points. Josh Hart, 14.
If Knicks win game 3, how you feeling after that?
Oh,
not 4. Game 3. If Knicks go up 2-1.
Oh, I'm comfortable.
All right.
Guess what? Because guess what? Instead of Heat in 5, it's gonna be Heat in 3. Because we already got one game. So my predictions doesn't change. It just gets better.
And Butler's for sure coming back for game 3. Looking at now.
Oh yeah,
so.
he's got rest. He rolled his ankle. So listen,
it's Heat in 5 or 6, and I'm leaning towards 5.
My predictions hasn't changed. I'm not. Listen, we just beat the Bucks. We beat the Bucks. Oh, you think I'm worried about a Knickerbocker? You think I'm worried about the Knicks?
What the fuck is a Knickerbocker?
We just beat the Bucks. I'm not worried about the Knicks. Okay. You talking about Boston, Philly? Okay, we have a conversation.
Listen, you're gonna see. Everybody.
To be fair, it was an injured.
The Yankee fitted, so you're gonna see a whole lot of Timberlands.
I will say, to be fair, the Bucks did have an injured Giannis that whole series.
To be fair, Giannis put up a triple double. So, to be fair,
yeah, but he was out for a game.
He was out for 3 games, but he put up a triple double. So listen,
I mean,
Gabe's hinging on that one game. He's like, he
put up a triple double. You can't tell me you're injured. You put up a triple double. You're like, oh, I'm hurt. My back. Triple double. Come on. Mamba mentality. Come on.
Imagine if he was healthy.
Imagine. Listen, we'll imagine it, and we can never.
Wait, how many games? How many? So wait, he missed.
Beat him in 5 games.
3, right?
Come on.
Imagine Jimmy didn't drop 56. It's like what?
Yeah,
he did.
Imagine
you could that's such a stupid excuse.
Imagine Tyler Hero didn't break his hand. Imagine Victor Oladipo.
Oh, that's different. I mean, you're talking about
we're imagining.
No, it's not.
It's imagination, bro. It's
no,
Disney.
you can't just say
Disney.
no.
We're Orlando Disney.
No, you can't just say imagine if he didn't drop 50 points. Well, yeah, no shit. If James Harden, imagine if James Harden didn't drop 45.
2 key players lost 2 starters, and you're talking about someone that was injured that ended up actually playing games and still dropped a triple double. So I mean, who really?
Okay, but yeah, just because he dropped a triple double doesn't mean anything. Because Giannis at the end of the day still missed time.
Guess what?
Regardless of the fact that could have potentially swung the series one way or another.
I mean, if Tyler Hero didn't go out, who's to say that
obviously, I'm happy the Heat won at the end of the day. I'm just saying that's what other people would say. It's like, look, yeah, you beat the Bucks, but Giannis is hurt.
No. Because you know why? If Giannis didn't play, if he was out for the series, that's different. There's a difference because the way Jimmy just missed the game now and he's back, nobody's saying anything. It's like, okay, he missed 1 game, he's gonna come back. Same thing with Giannis. He missed the game.
But what if the Heat lose? Same thing with
Embiid. Embiid missed the game and he came back. That's not affecting the entire series. That's why it's a series.
That could affect the series. Yeah. What if the Heat lose in Game 7?
But he's not out.
Jimmy being gone and losing that game, that affected the whole series.
I mean, listen, and Randall missed the game. So I'm like, listen, he's not out the entire
Everybody's
series.
hurt. Everybody's hurt.
He played. The point is, he played those games and they still lost. He played in those games and he still beat them. So, I mean, shoulda, coulda, would for anything.
Imagine if, I don't know, whatever.
I mean, me personally, in a series, yes, every game matters, but that's why it's a series. If you miss 1 game, shit happens, you come back, right? But if you're out for the series and you have no impact, then we can have that argument.
Yeah.
We can be like, all right, okay, they had to adjust everything, all the schemes.
But what about all right, yeah, he got that, he had a triple double while injured, but what if he was healthy? I'm just saying,
okay, and what if Tyler Hero played? What if Tyler dropped 30?
What if comparing Tyler Hero to Giannis is 2 different worlds?
Well, you're saying an injured Giannis who's playing and a player that's not playing at all. That's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, I'm just bringing it up because that's what people will say.
What if?
Regardless.
Listen, what if Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo didn't get hurt in the bubble? What if? Would they beat the Lakers? What if?
I'm not talking about what if. I'm not. Okay,
We're talking about what ifs. Let's talk about what if.
No,
What
y'all
if?
are stretching it
What if
too
Michael Jordan
far.
didn't retire? What if Michael Jordan didn't retire?
No, y'all are
and
stretching
the Houston Rockets
way
didn't win.
too
What if?
far. Like Gabe is getting.
What if KD never went to the Warriors?
What if? What if?
What if KD never went to the Warriors?
What if JFK didn't get shot? Like what's?
What if? Well, all right, let's
Listen,
get
I
on.
get
I'm
what
just
you're
saying that's the
All I'm
argument
saying-
people. I'm just saying that's the
There is-
argument people will say against
It's a
the
weak
Heat.
argument
It's like the
because
Heat
he's
are only
played.
here because Giannis missed a couple games. It's just like
One game. He missed
one game, and then he was
He
out
missed
for
one
part
game.
half of, and then he was out for a large chunk of the other one.
Listen, I don't speak.
That's
in
that's
hypotheticals.
2 games, and one of those games was a home game.
Saying, but it evened out because the Heat lost players as well. Like obviously they're not Giannis level, but they lost starters. So it's like they both lost. I mean, who's gonna step up after that, right?
And listen,
and the point was Giannis was still playing. If he missed 3 or 4 games, I would have been like, all right, damn. But like again, like he missed one game, came back, dropped a triple double, was actually playing pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, are we gonna say this for this series now with Boston and with Embiid and Philly? Like, yo, what if he didn't hurt his leg? I mean, he went in the game and played. He's playing. What more can you say? Like
at this point in
I'm
the
just
series,
saying people are going to be like, it's like, oh yeah, the Heat only made it because of, and like you're just going to have that. And let's be real, like Tyler Hero's not going to be as big of an impact compared. Like yes, it's an impact that he's gone, but not at the same level as like Giannis missing 2 games. Essentially, I know it's one full game, but he essentially missed
it's an impact for the Heat though. If the Heat don't have a strong roster and they lose one of their best players, that's an impact for them. Now the Bucks have a solid team overall. Like
how many
you got
All-Stars?
Chris Middleton, you have Lopez, you have all these
Drew
players,
Holiday.
like Drew Holiday, like you have like these elite players. You like that can play still. Like,
and here's the thing: a lot of times we talk about. Listen, I always talk about complete teams. Who's the most complete team, right? Sometimes some teams, even to get a chance, they have to play at their best. You have to have a whole team playing at their best to even get a chance. Not that they're going to play their best, they're going to win. Play their chance, and you might win. You know what I mean?
So do you think if Steph Curry was out the same amount of time that Giannis was out, that the Warriors would be here right now?
You mean one game in the playoffs?
He went out in the first quarter, dog. Like that's almost the entire game, and then he missed the whole game. That's like 2 games essentially.
I think if Draymond Green stopped kicking people in the nuts and stopped stomping people in their chest, they might have a 5th championship instead of a 4. They might have a 5th championship instead of 4. They might be an actual dynasty. I mean, they are a dynasty, but they might have 5 championships instead of 4. Instead of 4 fingers.
Here's my thing, Julian. I get the what if, right? All right, he missed the first 2. What about the last 2? He was playing. Why didn't they win? Did you watch the games? Was it because he was hurt, or was it other reasons?
Look, I'm just being contrary. I don't care. I'm not a Bucks fan. Gabe's so passionate.
You're defending the Bucks. You're wearing it,
bro. I'm saying that's what you guys missed the whole point in the beginning. I was like, people are going to say. I know. That's what I'm just going to say. That's why I was getting Gabe's reaction. I was like, people are going to say the only reason why the Heat made it was because Giannis missed essentially 2 games, and he played through injury the other.
I mean,
everybody's
what
hurt.
about everybody else?
Everybody's hurt.
I don't know why y'all are taking out on me. I'm just saying, like, I'm bringing the of what people said.
Speaking of everybody's hurt, let's talk about this Denver Sun series. Let's go out to the West. We're done with the East Coast. Let's go out to the West Coast. Denver Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns, I feel like with all the acquisitions they had, they acquired, Kevin Durant, CP3 has been ruled out. I think he was ruled out game 2, but he's expected to be out. Supposed to get an MRI on his groin. Probably be out for the rest of the series. But how do you feel about the series so far? Because the Nuggets right now, they're up 2-0 going into Phoenix with KP out. So CP3 out. Yeah. Jojo, how do you feel about this series? Nuggets being up, because I didn't expect them to go this like.
Damn, I'll say, they're balling, bro. Like, this is what we predicted a few years ago when if the Nuggets were like 100% completely healthy, right? And this is what we expect. Number 1 seed, they're whipping the ass of the Phoenix Suns with KD. Chris Paul curse, injured once again in the playoffs. So, we talk about this every year. It sucks. He's getting older. But but I don't think the Suns are out yet. Right? They defend the home court, which you should, right? And if you're a great team, if you're a playoff experienced team, you'd expect that, right? Now it's your turn to defend home court and tie the series 2-2. It sucks Chris Paul's out. You still have Devin Booker and KD. I mean, and other role players as well. Like good coaching, Monty Williams. Yeah, Ayton. Let's see if he wants to show up. Honestly, I think that's the question mark in the series. If Ayton wants to show up, that could be the difference maker. You know what you're gonna get from KD and from Devin Booker. So
to me, like again, playoffs don't start till the away team wins a game. The fact that they the Suns are down 2 games, statistically, if you look at the history of the NBA, that's not really great. That's not really great to go down 2 games. You want to at least split. You want to at least split an away game. Statistically, generally, if you win the first 2 games, the odds are you probably go down, and it would be probably a detriment to KD's legacy, whatever, however many years KD has to play, whatever. But Denver has been dominant all year. I've been a Suns, probably a Suns, not a Suns fan, Suns homer. I've kind of predicted the Suns that since their acquisitions. Bandwagon. I jumped on the Suns bandwagon.
Just say it.
Since the acquisition,
bandwagon.
You got KD, you got Devin Booker, you got Chris Paul. More than likely, you'll make it deep in the playoffs. So, but it's not looking good. Like I said, statistically, if you look at the history of the NBA, going down 2-0, not really great. You have to defend home. Like must win.
We've seen it happen. So I mean, yeah, like they can easily. Now I'm not gonna say easy, obviously, right? But they tied a series 2-2. Then what? Someone's gonna have to steal a road game.
Yeah,
that'll be the difference maker. You know what I mean?
The next 3 games are must-win games. Must-win game for the Suns. Must-win game. If they go up 3-0, Denver Nuggets.
It's a wrap. Yeah, series over.
Series over. This is must-win. Must-win for the series. All right, let's end it on JoJo's Los Angeles Lakers. He says he's a LeBron fan. He's a Lakers fan. Okay, let's talk about the Lakers going into this series. I feel like they made such a big splash. Beating obviously the Memphis. Grizzly. That was a tough series. I felt like it was fun. But obviously AD comes up big. But now Lakers versus Golden State. Lakers come up. I feel like they come up with an upset, right? Because you're playing Golden State. Steph Curry played very well. I'll give it to you, JoJo. How do you feel about this game 1 overall? Lakers going up, playing.
And huge win on the road. I don't know, man. Like it was like they played 2 completely different games, right? So, I heard people complaining, "Oh, Lakers had 20 something free throws and blah blah blah." And bro, look at how many 3-point attempts the Golden State had. And yeah, granted, they were actually knocking them down early on. I was scared. I was like, they had like 3 or 4 players that made 5 3-point shots, which is ridiculous. Like 4 or 5. I'm like, that's insane. But guess what? Statistically, Golden State averages less fouls than every other team in the league. Why? Because they don't play in the paint. They're pulling up threes left and right. And if that's their method to success, which we've seen in the past, it works. Cool. Now the Lakers with AD, which he had a hell of a game, and he's going to be the key component. We all know if he stays healthy, it's a wrap for everybody. It's over. Dominating the paint. As well as, all the other players, LeBron driving to the basket. Austin Reeves has been playing pretty good. Rui Hachimura off the bench causing a spark. Like, Lakers look really good, not going to lie. And I actually rather had played the Kings. I'm so worried about the Warriors. Like, come on, like, who's not worried about the veteran Warriors? Like, they're fresh off a championship. We've seen what they can do. They're dangerous. Like, you have to guard Curry to the bench, bro. You can't trust this man. He's gonna pull up from full court. But now I feel like since Lakers stole a game on the road, they have the competitive advantage because the Warriors have the worst away record in the league, which we've been talking about. So how are they gonna perform in LA, down the line? So
I think your biggest thing that you said is like Anthony Davis being healthy.
Yeah.
Which he hasn't been for like the past few years. And it's like, as long as he can stay healthy, I think the sky's the limit for the Lakers. Yes. It's just a matter if he's there, because the moment something happens and he's down, it's pretty much over. Depending how long it is, obviously.
I think everyone's holding their breath, to be honest, and just fingers crossed this whole playoff
And it's
series.
those big men. It's the big
crazy,
man. It's just when you're that tall and that heavy and you're jumping around, man, you're just always just going to be prone. And you're that lanky, you're always just going to be prone to injuries and shit.
Bro, his rebounding, his blocks, his defensive presence, like he does it all. Like I don't know if you see him play, man. And he started off the game
30
like
points, 23 rebounds in game 2.
He had like 4 blocks.
Yeah, and for me, as far as depth, I feel like the Lakers are a more deeper team. But listen, I'm not a denier of the Warriors, right? I felt like anybody who came out of the Warriors King series, I feel like could be in the final. But right now they're playing on fire. Kevin Looney, ultimate like rebounder, playing very well. It's a fun series as far as like West Coast California series. Like me, maybe I'm leaning a little bit towards the Warriors, but as far as deeper teams, the Lakers are a deeper team. I feel like they have more looks that they can give. And if game 1, and listen, in the playoffs, game to game, I feel like the last game you can't rely on what last game was going to the next game. I feel like this is a whole new championship, right? Going forward. So my brain tells me I should lean Warriors just because of they've done it before. They've been in playoff situations. But also Mara says like, the Lakers are playing on fire, right? They're the hot team right now. They're playing very well. And they can throw a lot of looks at the Warriors. So a fun series. I'm not going to hate.
For sure, bro.
I'm not going to hate on LeBron. AD's playing. He's on fire right now. And, it's a fun series to look forward, and they play tonight, so we'll see the results. By the time you see this, it'll be a week. We'll have a couple games.
Thank God they put the game at 9 p.m. man. Yeah. So I'm like, these 10 o'clock games, bro.
Yeah. Also, what's like? Isn't the record with Lakers record without AD is like something like it's abysmal, isn't it? It's like so bad. I don't remember the exact. I remember every time they pull it up when he's gone for a period of time, it's like so bad. But then when he comes back, it's like the Lakers are hotter than ever. It's just like you have that force in the paint. Do you think any of these teams would be able to surpass either the Nuggets or Suns? So?
The Suns, I'd say they're not looking so dangerous right now. I mean, obviously we named the star talent because as long as AD is staying healthy, like we can go against the Suns. Yeah. Now the Nuggets obviously are a more complete team, right? They look a lot more organized. Teamwork, passing, defense, coaching. That's going to be a tough series. I mean, the Suns are struggling right now, and I don't even think Chris Paul makes a difference, but I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference.
No, I don't think so either.
To be honest, he's a facilitator, but for the Lakers going against the Suns, I can see them winning in 6 or 7.
No. Yeah, because the thing with the Suns, I mean, the only people that are scoring is Booker and Durant. Like they're really the only ones putting up points for the most part. I mean, these past 2 games, 87 points and 107 points. Like that's not going to win you games. Like, but man, the Nuggets. I don't know if anybody's getting past the Nuggets. I think I got the Nuggets coming out of the West.
Nuggets in the finals. Nuggets in the finals. That's what
if anybody's going to beat the Nuggets, maybe the Lakers, because I think they have the side. Having AD, man, that matchup between Jokic and AD is going to be elite. Like that would be such a good matchup.
But Jokic is a bigger body than him. He's wider, bigger.
I don't know if what the fuck? Why am I drawing a blank?
AD
ball pick. No, guy who kicks balls. Why am I drawing a blank?
Draymond
Green.
Wow, that's sad. If that's
the Nutcracker. We call him the Nutcracker.
Jokic to me is going to body Draymond. I think in that size advantage, he's just going to body him. But that match between Jokic and AD would be like that'd be one for the generation. Like that's going to be a really good matchup between those two. So if anybody's to take down the Nuggets, I think it'd be the Lakers. I just don't know if the Warriors can really take down Denver. But I can see the Warriors beat the Lakers. I do think that's possible as well.
I mean, series can go either way, right? Like obviously I'm being optimistic with the Lakers. I know how dangerous Golden State is in the playoffs. Like we know, we've seen year by year. Like what they can. Curry just dropped 50 in a game 7 against the Kings. Like he can go off at any moment. You know what I mean?
just think the way
was going off last game too. So
yeah, I just think the way the Nuggets plays, I think a team that can hurt them more would be a Lakers team. Like when you're talking about the way they go up
the
against
size
each other.
difference and you know what I mean, just defensive presence as well.
Like I couldn't imagine the Warriors getting through the Nuggets like that.
So we'll see, man. The Lakers play tonight. Listen, by the time we come next week, there'll be like 10 games being played, all right? The Lakers play the Golden State Warriors tonight. Tomorrow, the Celtics, 76ers, Nuggets, Suns. So by the time you hear us next week, we're going to have updated hot takes on all the
Hot take
things.
real quick. If you had to pick right now, who's winning it all?
The hottest team?
Because it's going to change. We can do this all the way leading up to the finals. But like as of right now, like who do you have?
I go Celtics.
I'm going Lakers.
I got Nuggets.
LeBron getting number 5. If AD stays healthy.
I think Nuggets go all the way.
All right, there we go.
I think it's coming out of the West.
That's our
I don't think
predictions.
the East is strong.
That's our predictions. We're 3 games in, but like again, next week, listen, we're gonna have all the hot takes. We're gonna have all the we're gonna watch all the film, all the highlights. We'll have all the updates next week. Real Fans Podcast. We appreciate y'all checking out this week. Thank y'all for checking out. Like and subscribe on YouTube. YouTube is our thing. Julian, where's our podcast? Where can they find the podcast?
Anywhere you get your podcast, we are there. We are also on all the social media platforms. And then also shout out to everybody, all the new subscribers to the channel. Killing it on both shows. Things are going good, and hopefully keep it going. Gabe made a surprise appearance, so I don't know. Most likely,
check it out. Real Fans FC. Real Fans FC. Check it out.
This is actually going to come out after the soccer show, but you'll see Gabe in there if you watch the soccer. If you want to see a little bit of Gabe.
I'm wearing my same shirt. Same shirt. Check out the shirts. All the YouTube listeners. But yeah, we check it out. You appreciate y'all checking us out. We have the soccer show, Real Fans FC, Real Fans Podcast. We thank y'all. We'll be here next week, man. We're in the playoffs. It's playoffs, player.
Playoffs, baby.
Playoffs.
All right, we'll see y'all, man, next week. Peace.
All right, peace out, everybody.